It was the game, everybody, we thought that we were not going to be playing, okay? We thought Bethesda was going to do anything they can to make sure that we did not play Doom.
Todd's Praetorian Guard standing around the booth, making sure we'd be kept out at all costs.
But really, it was actually very easy to play.
It was.
Okay, we finally went hands-on with Doom Eternal, and we were psyched as fuck, and we thought it was going to be incredible. And then, was it incredible? We'll tell you after the drop.
It was. So Sam didn't really explain how we managed to get our hands on with it. We were actually guests of Microsoft while we were here, right? Hashtag sponsored. And then they have this showcase thing at the Xbox Stadium where they're like, just have all these games on display. And then the Xbox person mentions, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, Doom's there. And we're like, what? She's like, yeah, you can play Doom if you like. We're like, go on.
Yeah.
You know? So basically we went there, we played it. Look, I went in there expecting it to be more Doom 2016.
Yep.
I wasn't expecting it to be a legitimate step up in every regard over Doom 2016. Like, I was really blown away by how good this was.
Yeah.
I really was.
I think, first and foremost, you know, when you're playing a Doom game, it's all about the weapon mechanics, you know, and that...
Isn't it more about the story,
Oh,
Sam?
it's about
I do
story,
believe Doom is really more about the story.
Okay, it could be about the story, okay? I've spoken about that before, but the weapon mechanics felt absolutely fantastic. But we did play on a controller, okay? Now, it's better, of course, to understand what Doom feels like if you're playing with a keyboard and mouse, because we finished Doom on 2016 on a keyboard and mouse, but it still
Console
felt...
people be like, no, actually, you get the rumble, and it's so much better with the vibrations.
They should do rumbles in mouses, okay?
Yeah, that'd be a great idea,
But
Sam.
we'll come back to that, right? We'll come back to that. But the actual mechanics felt absolutely fantastic. It already felt meaty in 2016, but this one now feels even meatier.
Look, as soon as I picked up Doom Eternal, immediately I could tell they've made massive differences to weapon mechanics, and all of them are good.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I started firing like the heavy machine gun, I was like, this is a different weapon. It feels fucking amazing. Plasma rifle, the rocket launcher, shotgun, all of it has received a touch-up, and the weapon mechanics are just astoundingly good.
Yeah,
the recoil, feedback, sound design, just like muzzle flash, shell casings flying off, just overall responsiveness and snappiness, weapon switching, all of it is just so good, and it legitimately feels better than what I thought was already perfect in 2016.
Yeah, I don't know if they could ever make it better, but it does feel
they
like...
find new ways all the time, man.
There was something, you know, they had got, 3 years to make this better, and they didn't need to. You know, there's so many games that would be like, we're known for this shit, it's already perfect, but they were like, no, let's go back to the drawing board and make sure we can make it even better.
It's so good, actually, because I caught up with the Bungie development team today, and we had drinks.
Chill.
Funny story,
Total
right?
chill.
And I was like, listen, you need to go and play Doom Eternal, because I swear to God, what they've done with weapon mechanics this time around is just astounding.
Yeah,
so, it's serious business.
The other thing that's majorly different, that is a word actually, is the whole you can traverse the environment in different ways. Now you have the dash attack, you can dash, over cliffs and whatever, you can climb things. I thought that was fucking awesome, dude. Like, to make the Doom Slayer move around in a more interesting way, I think is going to actually result in more interesting environments. If they can make the actual environment that you're doing, because let's face it, Doom is very much like you walk into a room, you slay the enemies, and then you walk into another environment, and you do it all over again. If those environments now can change and they make it more interesting while you're doing that, that would be awesome.
I think the one area where I do have some concern around is the climbing, because I just think it feels quite not Doom, in the sense that Doom is very much about flow and speed, and all the other traversal options that you get in this game this time around are very much about that. You get a grappling hook, which feels fucking amazing, by the way.
I didn't even do that.
So good. You literally have a shotgun, you just grapple towards
Yeah, I was
amazing.
too blown away by everything else. I didn't even think to use it.
So you've got that, you've got a double jump, you've got the dash, you've got monkey bars where you literally just jump up onto like a pipe and you'll swing on it. You've got all this extra stuff. And then you've got climbing, which is like you press a button when you're near a wall and it's like, and then you're like, and then you're like, cool, I've climbed up a thing. I don't know that that's necessarily what I would have liked. I much prefer all the other stuff. That part I still have question marks around.
Look, I just think, I like that personally. I thought this will make it a bit more of a vertical game, Hopefully it might, it'll make the experience a little bit more... hopefully different, in a way that they don't necessarily need to make it overly different, let's face it, but if it adds to each environment that you walk into, I'm all for it.
Environment design was really stand out. We played the level on sort of approaching the heart of Mars. You were still outside, so you weren't like in the inner core of Mars.
Yeah.
You had the big, it was basically the level that you saw at the reveal, but now playable.
Yeah.
and it was just the scale of it is massive.
I think I like the scale of it. I agree. I don't feel like the level itself was overly different. Like it felt very Doom 2016. The actual world.
It was much bigger. It was a hell of a lot bigger.
No. But if you look out and see things going on, that felt bigger and better and different. I'm talking like on the ground, killing enemies. It did feel like though that didn't have big changes there.
That was similar. I'd say there's been massive changes made to mechanics, and I think this is really the biggest difference with Doom 2016 for me. You know, I was just expecting, more shooting and stuff, but they've added so many new mechanics to them that the skill cap for this game, I believe, is going to be very, very high.
I died a couple of times.
Yeah, but
Did you?
Shit. No, I didn't die. So I think in the past, difficulties in Doom have very much been about like, okay, how quickly can you move? How good is your aim? And then it's just about like kind of, you haven't had a large number of tools at your disposal to demonstrate mastery, right?
Yeah.
You have a lot more tools this time around.
Those tools were weapons, I think, before.
Oh,
they still
sure.
are, but now it feels like more of a physical tool set.
Yeah, but even then, you're talking about, for example, the rocket launcher where you can detonate the rockets when they're in flight now, depending on where they are.
Yeah.
We've talked about the grappling gun on the shotgun. There was, there's a few other weapons or a few other modes, but you're also talking about like your melee abilities are different now. You can actually melee enemies normally, and then that'll build up a gauge, and then eventually you can like one hit like 4 enemies at once.
Yeah.
You can actually use a flamethrower on your shoulder to recover armor from your enemies,
which is interesting.
You can glory kill them as before as well, and then that will restore health, and you can chain gun them to restore ammo, like full restore. Some of those mechanics are returning, some of them are new, but it's interesting to see what they will be used, how they'll be used in combination, because I feel like the ability to master the battlefield in this game, between the traversal options, between the sort of secondary fire mode on weapons, and between your new melee abilities, that's a very large kit there, and I'm going to be really interested to see what like amazingly skilled players can do.
Yeah, I think that Doom definitely played to its strengths in 2016 in terms of it was all about making you feel super powerful and just destroying shit. That's going to be in this one too, but I hopefully now that they can also play to this, I think it's a new strength, this whole traversing the environment in different ways and stuff. And I think that this can be a fucking smash out of the park if they include the Doomslayer, awesome, kill everything and feel like a god, and also now make him feel very, nimble and move around the environment. So I'm really excited to see what they do with
I also
this.
think these mechanics lay some very interesting foundations for arena shooters, because I think arena shooters lately have been like Slipgate, for example, came out, and it was like a portal game with, Halo mechanics plus portals. Before that you had Lawbreakers, which was actually quite mechanically deep, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
To its credit,
it went very
good.
successful too, so.
Before that you had Unreal Tournament and Quake, which were not particularly, mechanically deep, by the way. It requires ridiculous amounts of skills to be good at this game. I'm talking about a large number of different mechanics that you need to master.
Sure.
Like, should I use the armor, like melting flamethrower right now, or should I glory kill them? What do I need more?
Yeah.
That kind of rapid decision making in those moments. So in an arena shooter, that's going to be interesting. And if they can get a good multiplayer mode stood up around these awesome mechanics, that's going to be really interesting.
That was the pitfall of Doom 16. It was the multiplayer, and everyone knows
Really
that.
sucked.
I know it was outsourced.
Yep.
And I know they're doing that internally. But maybe that influenced the decision to make the Doomslayer more nimble. Maybe but who knows?
Yeah. So look, overall, I was just, as I said, blown away by this.
Very excited.
Could not believe how good it felt. I know we said Rage 2 was Game of Show last year.
Yep.
It was our Game of Show in terms of how fun it was to play. The weapon mechanics in that were really good because they were made by id Software.
Yep.
And then the rest of the game was made by Avalanche, and the rest of the game kind of sucked. But the weapon mechanics were amazing. So I don't think we're going to get Rage 2'd here with Doom Eternal.
I feel pretty confident about this.
These guys have a pretty great track record with 2016. I don't think they're going to fuck this one up.
Yeah, out of all the games that we've seen that are up and coming, this is I'm the most confident about this. Oh, and Cyberpunk, sure, okay, and maybe Death Stranding. There's a very
and
small...
maybe Final Fantasy VII.
Even that, who knows?
And maybe the Fallout 76 update.
That's true, of course.
Human NPCs, man. I mean, that's just a done deal right there.
Most games you look at these days, you always kind of reserve judgment. But with Doom, I'm like, I feel like you got a track record here. This is going to be a fantastic game, so I cannot wait. First Bethesda game, hopefully we can say awesome
nice things
about.
Okay? Yeah,
and we actually didn't say overly bad things about Rage. We were just like,
Todd might call us back after all.
Yeah, we might go to QuakeCon again. We'll have to see.
That's not happening. Anyway, that's it, guys. That's Doom Eternal. That's our hands-on impressions. It comes out at the end of the year, so keep an eye out for it.
Yep.
We will see you in the next video. Keep it locked. to Layman for E3.